What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the One Ad Away podcast. My name is Nick Priola, and I'm going to be your host. This episode means a lot to me. This is going to be an episode about me. This is going to be my journey of how I got to where I am today, okay? And this is how I took my online coaching business from inconsistent $5,000 to $10,000 a month organically to now currently averaging $35,000 a month. Okay. With my biggest month being $57,000. Okay. I have to throw those numbers out there just so, and I have screenshots. Those are the numbers. Okay. 3 years organic, 5 to 10K, biggest month being 10,000, it was like 10,100, something like that. Now 6 months in, I'm going to get to it. Okay. So I want to kind of start from the origin of me becoming a fitness coach, okay? Because that was a monumental moment in my life. I became a fitness coach when I moved to Houston, Texas. I remember I came here with a fitness clothing brand, okay? I started a clothing brand called Proven Athletics, and I wanted to come to Houston. I was drinking the Kool-Aid, the Alpha Elite Kool-Aid, the Ever Forward, this whole industry, Christian Guzman. I loved it so much, and they inspired me to get more into fitness. And I wanted to have a brand just like them. And so I started one, and it was actually doing really good. I'm from Colorado, moved to Houston, and this is really unfortunate. Apparently the name was trademarked, okay? And so they won. They had the name trademarked, okay? And so I had to shut down the business. And if we're being honest, it was growing exponentially, but it still wasn't. I was putting a lot of time in, and I wasn't, the profits were not where I wanted it to be. So it felt like it was okay for me to fold that business. But now that created a new problem, okay? I didn't have a job. I had no money, and I was living in Houston by myself. I had my roommate, Hanman. He's still one of my best friends to this day. And so I needed to work. And I reached out to my mom, and this is when I still, fitness was the biggest thing in my life. I reached out to my mom. She got me a job with her job. It was this call center. And I remember my first day of training, I was miserable. It was the worst thing in my entire fucking life. And so I did the training, and I never went back. And so at the time, I also was on my own fitness journey, and I hired my coach. You guys have heard my story of how I finally had the epiphany that I needed a coach and that I was doing things wrong, okay? And so I hired Chad Morgan as my fitness coach. And this is one of the biggest turning points in my life. Everything clicked for me. My fitness, my physique started to become amazing. The body of my dreams is what I started to have. And it made so much sense. I started to understand how food worked and macros and reverse dieting and all of this. And so one thing that I love to do is I love to give back these things that I struggled so much with. When I struggle for a long time with something and then I have the epiphany and I find the solution, I like to give it back. I like to do that for a career, right? So I remember asking my roommate, because my roommate was Chad Morgan's videographer, okay? And I asked him, I said, man, how in the world does Chad do this for a living? All I need is the blueprint. I'm a hard worker. I'm very coachable. All I need is someone to tell me what to do, and I'm going to do it. Okay. And so he said, listen, Chad Morgan, he hired his mentor. I believe his name's this is quote unquote, I believe his name's Brian Mark. So what happened was I went and I followed him. Okay. I went and I followed him, and I joined his 3-day challenge. Loved it. It made so much sense. Hired him in the 4th day of that 3-day challenge. And from there, boom, I was off to the races. Okay. I started my own business, my own online coaching business. And as you guys know, right, at first, when you go from $0, right, when you make your first sale organically, when you have these months of in the thousands, right, you're making $2,000, $3,000 online after going from nothing, it feels like you just hit the jackpot, right? It felt amazing, okay? And so month after month, I continued to increase my income, show up to the calls, show up to the trainings, learn. And listen, PT Dom, I believe it was the 10K Academy at the time. It was amazing. Like, I enjoyed the process, the journey of becoming a coach. I learned so much. The foundation of everything that I do, right, comes from my organic mentors, Brian, Mark, and Cole. And so that's like kind of the first part of my journey. Now, fast forward, right? I hit $10,000 in my organic fitness coaching business 6 months in. I hit the 10K mark 6 months in. Okay, it was this big deal, like, the post, all of it. Okay, so I was known, boom, I was number 164, something like that, okay? And I was stoked. I was like, listen, I'm gonna make $1 million this year. I'm gonna consistently hit $10,000 a month. And then the next month, I believe I had like a $3,000 month, okay? I had a $3,000 month. And one of the reasons for that is, like, I hit $10,000, I kind of slowed up. I wasn't in my DMs as much. And it's just what happens when you're organic. Like, if you don't move, the business doesn't move, right? So that is, listen, I'm going to give my kudos. Like, I am going to, anybody who has helped me along the way, I am going to give them their flowers. Like, they deserve that. And so fast forward, right? I'm organic. I continue to run my challenges. I continue to post. I continue to, do all of the things that organic coaches do. Okay. And so the thing was that eventually I got stressed out. I noticed that I was always in a state of stress of, I need to do this, the grind. I need to do this. I need to do my morning routine. I need to be in a better, I need abundance. I need to think abundantly. Because there was times when money wasn't coming in and I was really stressed out because of it, right? And so once again, if you don't move, your business doesn't move, right? I wanted to make more money than $10,000 a month. That was just plain and simple. That was my goal. I wanted to grow past that. I'm somebody who, I like to evolve, and I notice that when I feel stuck, that's when I know things need to change, okay? And so I wanted to make a ton of money, and I also didn't want to trade my time for money. And organically, that's what I was doing. All my days were spent thinking about what content could I make? How could I get more views? How can I get more leads with my content? And that was insanely stressful. And so I remember, I believe it was, year 2.5, like I was halfway through my second year, and I was going to join the $1 Million Mastermind. And at the time, I just didn't have a lot of money. And so I had no right to even try to join the $1 Million Mastermind. I remember putting my $5,000 deposit down, and then it was like $19.97 for the next 12 months. And I remember just panicking. I was like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. My organic content isn't hitting like it should. And then the whole first month was mindset. And I was like, I need to make money from this. And so once again, I called Brian. I said, listen, all right, I messaged him. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I need the money. And so he put the 5K deposit towards the academy, and I was really grateful for that. All good. Things were good. And I tried to sell solar. I tried to do a different job because I was so stressed out and I wasn't seeing the returns with organic coaching. Even though I was a really good fucking coach, my coaching was fucking amazing. And here's the thing. It didn't matter how many morning routines I did, how many times, like my content calendar, the types of content, like I was getting the same amount of leads or less as time went on, okay? Because it wasn't reaching anybody. And even if I had a couple viral posts, a couple of my posts went viral, but then those leads just didn't, nothing really came to fruition with those views or likes. And so here's the thing, right, is I kept going. And eventually at the end of year 3, organically, I hit an all-time low in my business, okay? After a while, you can only continue to post so much. You can only continue to post and rely on, I felt like I was posting to the same 3 people. And my income suffered because of that. And it felt like I was doing everything right, okay? Now I did see some cool posts went viral, great. And even at the time, here's what changed too, is I had a family. And I was consistently around, 5 to 10. Some months would be like decent. Some months would be 2K just because it was just a really slow month. And at the end of year 3 organic, like nothing really changed from year 1 to 3, except for being told post more, do a different challenge, fix this, fix that, instead of like, hey, here's an opportunity that will actually scale your business. Like, here's something new. Because at the end of the day, like running a business shouldn't involve you posting 3 times a day and only focusing on like making content. Okay. You're just becoming an influencer at that point. Now, in year 3, at the end of it, I had $100 to my name after Christmas, after rent, after paying for my mentorship. Like my bank account was really low. And I remember just feeling this, like I had a feeling of, what am I going to do? Right. And I I felt helpless. I felt so damn helpless. And so after all Christmas gifts were purchased, there was this one moment that really just, I remember insanely vividly. And this was when I like, when your money's low, like everything in life feels insanely heavy. And I remember just being at home, the kids were running around, and really quick, I have a family now. I have a daughter, at like 2-step kids. Like at the time, like I was taking care of a family and I needed to provide. And, even if you're a woman and you provide, like you understand that feeling of not having any money with kids, or even if you're just providing for yourself, it doesn't feel good. Like you feel just like there's a pit in your stomach, like you can't breathe. Right. And so I remember this night when, my stepdaughter, I was just in the room, checking my bank account, figuring out what I could do, going to post again, posting transformations, posting call to actions. And she came in and she said, "Nick, are you happy?" She says, she said, "Nick, are you happy?" Like that's how she says it. And first off, it just caught me off guard because at the time, nobody knew it, but I felt, if there's anything like depression, it felt like depression as parents, you don't want to put any of your you don't want to put any of that on your kids, especially if they're only 2 years old, 2.5. And I just remember smiling, giving her a hug, and yes, I'm happy, of course. And once she left that room, I just felt this wave of like emotions just, woof, and I just slowly felt these tears, just my eyes swelled up, and I just felt like I was failing everybody around me and failing myself. And I don't care what you believe in, but in that moment by myself in that room, I asked God for a sign. I asked God for something. I needed something. And literally within the next week, an ad popped up in my Instagram. And it was this blonde kid. His name's Jeremy Pogue. And it was an ad that basically explained my situation to a T. If you're a really good coach, you're not making money. The reason why you're not making money is not because you suck at what you do. It's because nobody knows who you are. You need more people to sell to. And I was like, yes, that's exactly it. That's where I'm at right now. That's exactly what is happening. If I had an insane amount of people who knew who I was and saw how good I was at what I did and saw my opportunity, and it'd be impossible for them to say no. And it'd be impossible for me not to close my calls. My close rate was really good. People wanted to work with me, right? But just not enough people knew about me. And so we had our conversation, we had our call, and it went really well. Okay. I had $100 to my name, and I gathered every single credit card that I could, and I dropped $10K to work with Jeremy Pogue. And this was a big deal for me. Like, this was a massive, massive investment, a massive deal, especially given how much money I currently had, right? Given how much money I currently had, that was a really big investment. Okay. And so I remember even though, listen, it sounded great, ads. So running ads and getting people to know you sounded great. But my biggest concerns were, don't you have to spend a lot of money on ads? And I just didn't think they'd work for me personally. I also didn't know how to write ads. I didn't know how to set up my ad account. Ads were insanely confusing. My business isn't making enough to run ads. And that was actually one of the biggest misconceptions. I used to always think that, and I was told that my business is like, you need to make a certain amount for you to run ads. And that is so really quick, I'll get into that, but that's what I thought. And so I went into the calls and I made sure to ask these questions. I said, listen, am I burning money because of these fears that I have? Am I burning money with my ad? Is this should I even be here? And the question that Jeremy asked me was, like, how did you find me? Like, you would have no idea who I was if you did not see my ad and then go through my content and then build trust and then have a conversation with me. And that's when I said, oh shit, it makes too much sense, right? I'm not posting content every day to get people to know me. Doing dumb things on my content. Like, there was a time when I considered, wearing a wig and doing some silly, reel just to get more views. And that just, it didn't feel authentic to me. Okay. And so once he said that, it made sense. And from there, right, what happened was we had to set up our call to script our ad. Okay. He helps script ads. And I believe there was a week in between. And I got so excited that I went to go run my first ad on my own. Like, I just did it. I just sent it. I didn't want to wait a week. And so I went and ran my first ad by myself. And the type of ad that I tried to run was just boosting a post. I think I tried to run two. I boosted a post that performed decently well. Okay. It got a bunch of views, but no one followed me. And then I tried to run an ad that tried to get people to pay for my coaching on the ad. None of them converted. And so I remember feeling like, oh shit, I just wasted $10,000. And at this time, I also paid another $10,000 to be $12,000 to be in the mastermind. So $20,000 I combined because I saw the value in what this was, but I was like, man, did I just waste $20,000 because this wasn't performing the way that I wanted it to perform? And so anyways, that was on my own. And obviously that's why you have someone who knows what they're doing. So anyways, we go to the call and we script our ad. And I am told that, hey, these ads we're not trying to marry somebody on the first date. We're trying to just get them to know who the hell we are. Okay. And so we scripted the ad very strategically so that people who needed what I had to offer would follow me, would go through my content. And really quick, I do want to say, you need to have a mentor who teaches you the foundations of business organically. You need to have that. I won't work with anybody who hasn't already gone through some sort of organic journey themselves and who doesn't understand the pillars of content, who doesn't understand that people need to know you, like you, trust you, that doesn't have any consistency with their content. You need good content. Your ads are going to succeed because of how good your content is. Okay? So don't get it twisted. You need to go through the first phase of organic, and then you can't stay organic. You will be stuck at a certain income level. That's the truth. Now, the next level is running an ad, okay? Having a setter, putting those two together. Now, I'm going to continue with my story. So we get together, we get our ad going, and the next day, I have all of these follows piling in. And I felt like a jackpot. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I am getting all of these follows. People are seeing who I am. They're going to go through my content. Now, I remember asking them, I said, what do I do now? I'm getting all these follows. How do I turn them into clients? And it's like, okay, now what you have to do is you reach out to them. They're warm leads now. They followed you. They've seen your content. They've seen your ad. Now you reach out to them. You have conversations with them. You get them on a call. You book them. You set an appointment with them. Okay. And I remember messaging everybody that followed me, and nobody responded, or no, I didn't get any calls booked. And I remember feeling like, once again, did I just fail? Like, did I just waste $20,000? Because one thing that I hate doing is being inside of my DMs. The first 3 years, organically, if I wasn't in my DMs setting and booking calls, then my business did not make money. So the only time where I did see these good returns was when I was just constantly on my phone, constantly messaging people. And this takes me back to when I was organic. One of my biggest struggles was my lack of time that I had for my family, my lack of time that I had for my friends, the fact that I was constantly on my phone, the fact that I was constantly making content, that I couldn't ever just be present in the moment. That was painful, and I was sick and tired of it. And so now, right, no one is responding to my messages. And so once again, I feel like I wasted $20,000. I got lucky. I don't know what it was. I do believe, God really gave me a gift here, sent me a sign. And this is when Leon reached out to me and he said, hey, I'm an appointment setter. What I do, I saw your ad and it looks like you have really good content. I know that if you put me inside of your DMs, I'm commission based only. So the calls that you close, I get 10%, I get a commission. Okay. And so that makes him hungry to work. And I said, holy shit, this sounds great. Right? This sounds great. And so once Leon came into my inbox, booked calls from people that followed me, the very first month we had a $30,000 month. And if I'm good, like specifically, it was $27.5 thousand. And in the month of January, I only spent $1,400 on ads. And if you do the math there, I have to pull out my calculator. So let's do 27.5 divided by 1,400. That is a 19x return on my ad spend. So if you were to just, let's do like the low number. Let's say like, let's just actually use this number, a 19x return on ad spend. Let's say that I turned my ad spend into 2,800. Okay, so 2,800 times 19. Okay, that's $53,000. And you can see why I was able to hit $57,000 after this and scale my business, actually have inputs and outputs and know what's going to be coming. Okay, and you want to know what? I cut my working hours in half. I wasn't always on my phone DMing. I would be at dinner with my family and I'd see a call booked. Call booked, call booked, call booked. I'd be at home hanging out with my daughter, call booked. Watching a movie with my daughter, call booked. Okay? That's the power. That was the moment when I knew my life was about to change. My business was about to change. And this opportunity, anybody can do it. One of the things that I actually just started working with one of my clients, Amanda, she said that her mentor only was going to allow her an appointment setter once she hit $20,000. And that blew my mind, because if that was the case for me, I would still be stuck at $5,000 to $10,000. Okay. I believe my month before getting a setter and an ad, the month of December was like $2,000, right? Maybe $4,000 because there was rent and then all that. I mean, it was so bad that I was getting like threatened legal action with my rent, with my landlord, because I took forever I had to re-sign a client to pay my rent. Okay. So there was pain, there was struggle for 3 years. And like, this was 3 years worth. Okay. And, you know, it's amazing to me to hear people continue to, but here's the thing, I was stuck in my ways for 3 years. You know, I had coaches reach out to me, mentors, and say, hey, you know, I have this opportunity. There you go. Like, what do you think? And I would be a smart ass. I would be like, yo, like, I have a mentor. I'm good. Don't worry about it. But I didn't know what I was missing. And here's the thing. That's why ads are so valuable, because I'm not going to be forcing somebody to work with me. They're going to come into my network. They're going to see what I do. They're going to see my content, see my results, and they're going to be interested. Okay. And so they know who I am. They know what I do. Now that's what we talk about, right? With the Beyond Organic funnel. Okay. That's when you understand the client journey and what they need to do in order to buy, plus having your top of funnel ad, it all makes sense. Okay. It all makes sense. When you take someone from ad to follow, to conversation, to call, to client, it simplifies everything. And I'm happy to say that in the year of 2024, we made $450,000. Okay. $450,000 was made in the year of 2024. When in 2023, my total income was 60. 2022, it was 80, right? My income slowly went down because with the Instagram algorithm changing, people started to catch on to organic tactics. And also, I probably wasn't in my DMs as much because I had a family. I had a daughter. I wanted to spend time with them. But you know what? It was like, because I spent more time with my family, my income was going down. And that should never be the case. And so listen, if you have to go through the suck like I did for quite a bit of time before making that decision to say, hey, it's time to grow. It's time to evolve, right? If you notice yourself feeling stuck, that's your sign to evolve and to change and to grow. It took me hitting rock bottom for me to make that decision. And if I were to go back and tell younger Nick anything, it would be to make that decision sooner. And so that is the story. So from there, right? This is it, we're almost done. As I mentioned at the beginning of the story, when something changes my life, when something clicks, when I go through a shit ton of pain and then find the solution, what I like to do is give that back. What I like to do is show other people the way, because it changed my life. I remember just begging for an answer, asking God, like, please help me. Like, what do I do? And because the thing is like, I work my ass off. It's not like I'm not a victim. There's no victim mindset. There's no blame game. I take responsibility for everything that I do. And I just felt helpless. And along comes, Jeremy Pogue, who opened this world of what business actually should look like. And then from there, right, join his mastermind. And then now that I have more income, I feel hungry to learn more. And then now I'm in Russell Brunson's mastermind. And now it just continues to evolve from there. I want to continue to learn, want to continue to grow. And by the way, I still am, my fitness business is running on autopilot at like $35,000 a month. Okay. Autopilot. About 30 to 40 calls booked per month. Okay. Yeah. I'm taking calls. I'm working nonstop, but I love it. I love what I do. And I love giving that back. I decided to scale my fitness business so much to where the only thing I'm doing is marketing and sales. Okay. And now starting this business Beyond Organic, it fills me with so much, because improving your fitness journey feels like that's the foundation of everybody's life. You have to take care of yourself. You have to get confidence. And once you level up past that, right, then it's health, then it's wealth, and then it's just beyond that, right? Relationships. Then once you have that, you focus on your loved ones. Now, you should always have that. You should always focus on your loved ones, but then you have the time and the space to actually give and be present without stress. And it's a really valuable thing. And then also, as you continue to build your health and then your wealth, your value as a human being goes up. Okay. You have a higher status. People see you with more money. They see that you're not begging others for money. You're not organically, always doing a CTA, always doing a promo, always doing a sale. Organic coaches, trust me, when you do these tactics, like people know by now, people can smell that you really need clients. Okay. When you have 2 spots remaining, now listen, we all do it from time to time, but when you're doing it every other month, people are they're going to smell that. Okay. And, the other day, one of my clients, I had a case study with them, and they're like, you know what? You were different because you weren't always trying to push a challenge on somebody. You weren't always trying to like make a sale and do a discount. Like I saw your video and we had a really good conversation, and it was just insanely authentic. There was no sale. Like you weren't selling me. Like I came to you. And that's when it really hit me. Like I couldn't do that organically. And so that's just my evolution as a human being, as a coach. And I do really quick, like I have to give credit to the people who got me here, right? Brian, Mark, Cole, and Jeremy. Like without them, I wouldn't be here. And so those foundations are insanely important to have, and you have to evolve in your life past them. And so, going from organic 5 to 10K to running a business with ads and a setter to $30,000 to $40,000 a month, like that's an evolution. Certain coaches serve different purposes, okay, and that's okay. And I've learned that. And so one of the things, here's the thing: is like this industry can be, really like crazy in the sense of everyone thinks that they own everything. It's like there's enough to go around. I remember talking to Jeremy. I went into our mastermind call and I said, listen, bro, I want you to make sure that I respect you, because I'm basically taking what I learned from you and starting my own offer. And his response, and I was like, listen, what do I need to do to make sure that I'm giving you a level of respect? And he said, listen, you've done the thing. You went through the thing. You went through the trials and tribulations, and you succeeded with the thing. So now there's enough to go around for everybody. It's a trickle-down effect. And he actually said that, like, the way he responded was so powerful, and it shows the level of confidence that he has in himself. That, hey, it's a trickle-down effect. You've done the thing, you've learned the thing, and you succeeded with the thing. I want that for you. And so that really spoke volumes to me and to everybody inside of our mastermind, I'm sure. So yeah, guys, I appreciate you listening to this episode of the pod. Right now, once again, if you're listening to this, just launched a new offer, and it's exciting, to grow and to be able to help people who are stuck buy back their time and run an actual business that doesn't revolve strictly around the content or the virality if it doesn't revolve around those things, right? Virality, being in the inbox, posting every single day, like to be able to take people out of that, like I once got taken out of that, that's fucking powerful. And I couldn't be more grateful. For anybody who's gotten me to where I am. You got to give them their flowers. You got to give them their credit. And now it's like, let's continue to all grow together. And so that's where we're at. Life is good, and let's grow. Let's evolve. Don't let your stuff stay stuck because of your pride and because of your ego, because I did that for a really long time. If you are confident enough in yourself, if you're confident enough in what you do, there should be no animosity. There should be no frustration. Like, you should just live and let live. And that's what I had to understand as well. So this is the One Ad Away podcast. You're one ad away from life-changing money. You're one setter away from life-changing money. See ya.